Hey guys, welcome back. I know it's been a little while, but we are back and we're going to discuss E3 one final time for all three companies, the big three that are going to be at E3. That would be Microsoft, Sony, and of course Nintendo. Now, this is going to be my last video until E3. So we're going to fit everything into this video, and then when E3 comes around June 12th, June 13th, I'll have another video around that time with my reactions to Sony and Nintendo's conference, and Microsoft as well. But the ones I'm most interested in is Nintendo and Sony's, of course. Microsoft's is kind of self-explanatory. And before we get started, I want to say thank you all, of course, for your support. And something interesting I ran into was my first few death threats, or wishes of death, from some comments on my last few videos. So that is kind of interesting. I haven't really had death threats before. So basically, when people get those type of comments, it means that what you're doing is making a difference to somebody, so much so that they're going to the trouble of putting out death threats and things like that to you. So I definitely can't make everybody happy, and people are going to be upset with some of the opinions I have, but I am still a 100% Nintendo fan. I may not be the type of fan that some of you out there, not all of you of course, but some of you out there may not appreciate, but I am definitely a Nintendo fan. Just maybe not the type of fan that you want. So let's get going with these E3 rumors and games that I expect to be shown. So first we'll start out with Microsoft, then Sony, and then end with Nintendo. So first of all, with Microsoft, of course, they're going to have the big Scorpio blowout with all their third-party support. And I expect them to try to maybe resurrect, or say they're going to try to resurrect or save Scalebound for Microsoft and Xbox One Scorpio. And I do expect them to do some type of VR, virtual reality stuff with the Scorpio as well. Microsoft did announce earlier this year, I think back in March, that they were going to be planning mixed reality with Scorpio in 2018. So I do expect them to do some type of virtual reality or mixed reality with the Scorpio at E3 in their presentation. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. You're going to see a lot of third-party games on the Scorpio. You're going to see Call of Duty, Battlefront, you know, all the third-party games coming out for the holidays, Assassin's Creed Origins. They're going to obviously do a big third-party showcase at E3 for Xbox, and you'll see a lot of that. So in terms of exclusives, they'll probably have the next Forza game, and who knows what else. But as we know, Microsoft isn't really being known for their exclusives right now, which is what they need to improve upon if they're going to make a big splash for the holidays with Scorpio. So next we'll move on to Sony, of course, and they always bring a really good show to E3, everyone knows that, and they have all the third-party support, and they have the exclusives, right? So for Sony, I expect them to have Final Fantasy VII Remake and God of War 4, Uncharted Lost Legacy, their exclusive Spider-Man game, Last of Us Part 2, Days Gone, and probably some new games they haven't announced as well, and of course all the other games they have coming from third party. But in regards to the games I just listed, I do expect Sony to have some type of release dates for these games finally. So probably Final Fantasy VII will be in 2018. I don't know if it's going to make it a holiday. I'm not quite sure. We haven't really seen anything of the game yet to know. So I'll say probably 2018 for Final Fantasy VII Remake. And for the rest of the games, no doubt, some of them are going to be in 2017. We'll have to wait and see. Now, the big rumor with Sony going around is a couple of them, actually. There's a couple rumors. First of all, a new handheld may be debuted by Sony at E3. In a few videos back, we talked about how the president of Square Enix mentioned PSP3 as something that is a platform coming later that they will be supporting. Obviously, PSP3, that would be a new Sony handheld, right? And that was a code name being used. So if it is a new handheld, Sony obviously wouldn't be making something that is proprietary again, right? Because it failed with the Vita. So most likely, if this becomes true, it's going to be some type of PlayStation 4 portable where it will have a shared library with the PlayStation home console. That's the only way I could see this being something that Sony could be using as their next handheld device. And then the next rumor with Sony is that they have secured Monster Hunter 5 as a Sony exclusive. And this would also make sense if the portable PlayStation 4 rumor becomes true, that they secured some kind of deal with Capcom to bring Monster Hunter 5, whether you have a PlayStation 4 portable or a PlayStation 4 home console or PlayStation 4 Pro, what have you. That would make sense if that all becomes true, right? So that's a lot of ifs. So those are the rumors with Sony. PlayStation 4 Portable to be debuted, and possibly Monster Hunter 5 announced. Those are some pretty huge rumors if they do become true, and some pretty big competition against Nintendo, right? Okay, So now we'll move on to Nintendo. Nintendo has the potential to have a gigantic E3, and I'm really excited to see what they're going to show. And we have some rumors, of course, to go over as well. But what I expect for the Nintendo Switch is definitely going to be Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, ARMS, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, a Super Smash Bros. Port from Wii U to Switch, an update on Fire Emblem for 2018, and of course the new Metroid game that's been rumored. I fully expect that to be shown for the Nintendo Switch. And quite possibly we might be seeing the new game from Retro Studios as well at E3. And who knows, that could also be a Metroid game as well. We don't know yet, right? But like I said before, rumor is there are 2 Metroid games in the works. Whether you want to believe that or not, it's up to you. But rumor is there are 2 Metroid games in the works. One not being developed by Retro Studios, and one is being developed by Retro Studios. That is the rumor. So I'm sticking with the 2 Metroid games in development. And of course, that is great. We all love Metroid. We haven't seen Metroid in a long time, so if there is 2 Metroid games in development, obviously they would be different from one another. And hopefully these Metroid games are the big juicy ones, right? The ones that really go deep and really improve upon the franchise, since we haven't seen it so long. Metroid Prime Federation Force in 2015 really didn't do that. So I really hope that these new games do make a big splash for Nintendo. Now, in regards to third party for the Switch, it's been a hot topic, of course, that third party quite frankly hasn't been there for the system, but I do expect we'll see an update on Monster Hunter Double Cross and Shin Megami Tensei from Atlas, and possibly the wild card of the third party games from Activision could be Call of Duty World War II. But I'm more sure about Monster Hunter and Shin Megami Tensei at this time than I am about Call of Duty World War II, so I'll call that a wildcard game for now. And of course, like I said earlier this year and late 2016, Nintendo has a big surprise that's going to catch everyone off guard, is a rumor that I've heard. So this could be when Nintendo could make this happen at E3, since of course Sony could have some huge surprises. Nintendo, don't count them out. Nintendo could very well and very likely have some very big surprises that nobody is expecting. So look out for that, guys, and get excited for E3. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be playing these games at E3 in Los Angeles, June 13th. So look for more from me at that time, and of course a reaction video to all these things. Until then, keep it calm, keep it cool in the comment section. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon in the next video. Take care.